Okay, so welcome back, and on this one we are going to talk about the advanced LFO ARP and a motion recorder. Remember, this is a series, so this is the part number 6, I guess, from the series. And if you get a little bit lost, it's because you are, you missed all the other parts. You need to go and watch them. But in this one, we're going to talk about this and this pretty much. So first, of course, we get the LFO. We already talked about the LFO on the modulation section. And on this one, we get the arpeggiator and the motion that we're going to talk in a second. So all of this belongs pretty much to the arpeggiator. So I got a tiny clip right here. Let me just show you first. Let me go back to bitwig mode. And notice that we get just a chord. It's a chord. It's just a sustained chord, right? Just pretty simple. 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. All right, let me make it smaller. So okay, it's just a chord. So I'm gonna go back to the Mini B, and if I play this clip, we just get one chord, right? This is how it works. Now, just to make it better, because it sounds really crappy, I'm gonna go and enable right here Bowie's detune, and now that we know how this works, we can, you can follow me. I'm gonna lower the volume just a little bit, and I'm gonna filter a little bit of these super high frequencies, and that's it. That's what I want. And just to add something a little bit nicer, I'm gonna go and provide a little bit of chorus. Right, just a little bit better. Okay. So now, of course, this one is an ARP. It's not a sequencer, not the same thing. An arpeggiator, it's not a sequencer. So this one will play an arpeggio. So now we have 3 notes. So whatever you press on the keyboard or whatever clip you're playing, maybe in a chord mode, it will go and, arpeggiate that. So if I play it right now, nothing is going to happen. The way we can enable the arpeggiator is by clicking the play button. So when I go and play, it's doing the arpeggiator, right? It's just playing one note after the other one. And remember that this was the chord, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Super simple, super simple. Now, of course, this is going from down and then up, just like this, just like it says right here. Then, of course, the other mode is going to be going down, up. Then the next mode is going to be up and down. Notice it goes down, up, and then down again. The next mode is going to be the random mode. And of course, all of this, remember, you can change the speed, of course, and you can MIDI sync, or it means that you can sync the speed to the DAW tempo. Alright, so all of this, makes sense, just pretty simple. And then you get this one, which is the key match. And for this one, I'm going to need to press some keys. So the key match, what it will do, it will remember every key you're pressing. And it will remember the position of each key. So when we play a chord, it doesn't matter, what we play first or we play last. It will always start from the bottom, then go up, just like it's happening right here on this icon. But this one, it's different. I'm gonna go and press a key, and now you're gonna need. Oh, sorry for that. You're gonna need to look at the keyboard right here. I'm gonna go press a key. Right now we have no arpeggio, right? Let me just play something a little bit lower. So this is my 1. This is my 2. So it means that it will remember the order of the keys I play, and the arpeggio will keep, it will follow the same order of the keys I play. That's why now we are getting just a nice arpeggio with different positions and not getting, down, up, down, up. So that's what the what the key match means. It will remember all the positions of all the keys you press. So then you get the octave, and in this one I'm going to go back to the clip with the single chord. And the octave, it means that it will play 1 octave, or it's going to play 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 octaves above the same note you're playing. I'm going to go low so we can go high, all right? So I'm going to go and play it again. So it's right now we have 1. So since we have 1, it doesn't care about you going to the next octave. He's going to play the whatever octave you're playing the clip or your chord. If I go 2, is going to play first the original octave, and then the next one is going to play it on the next octave. Notice it's just a little bit different. So every time the arpeggio repeats, it's going to go one octave above. Or yeah, just pretty much that's what it's doing. Then if I choose 3 and I'm going to stop and play it again, is normal, next, and next, and then it starts over. And you can go over and over up to 5 octaves. It's going to go crazy. Now notice that every time that repeats one single round, right, of this 3 notes that we are doing right here, is going to move up to the next, to the next, to the next, and to the next. So this is the note repeat. The note repeat will decide how much times, how many times this single, progression or loop of 3 keys or 3 notes will repeat. So if I go to maybe 3 octaves, it's going to repeat the same loop 3 times before it goes to the next octave. And we can actually really hear this. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, next, and next. Right? So it's going to repeat the same thing 3 times and then go to the next octave and then go to the next and go to the next and the next and the next. That's how it works. All right, so pretty simple. Told you this was going to be a piece of cake. So then what you get, if you maybe don't want to use the arpeggiator, you get the hold. So by default, this is off. So when you turn it on, what this will do is that every time you press a key, it's gonna just hold it for you. That's what it does. Notice that right now, it's just not doing anything. If I do play, I'm gonna press a key and notice that I'm not doing anything and I'm not pressing anything. If I press a different one, it's gonna go and do that one. Now, of course, the trick right here is gonna be, let me just stop it. Right, the key right here, the trick is that when we do a chord, right? It's gonna hold that chord while doing the arpeggio. So if I go now and just make a chord, it's playing. And notice that right now I'm not playing the clip. Right? Now, if it comes to a place where you want to stop what it's doing because you don't know what is going on and the synth is going crazy, always remember you get the panic button right here. By clicking the panic, it's just gonna kill any sound. So, okay, so then you get the memory, and the memory works just like this one. It will remember what you're playing. So if I go 1, and then 2, and then 3, and you know what? Let me just again stop it. And go there and panic. So I'm gonna go and press it with the mouse so you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna go 1, and then I'm gonna go 2, and it will remember what I'm clicking. I'm gonna go and click this one, and maybe a different one, and you're just gonna go crazy. Right? So then what it does. So that's it. That's the whole arpeggiator. Okay, so now that we know how this works, I'm going to go to the motion recorder. And this one looks challenging, and because it really looks challenging, it's just weird to look, but it's very simple. So I'm going to go back to the default template that we've been using, and I'm going to disable this. I'm going to do maybe a little bit of unison, just like we did before, just to get something a bit better, and do a little bit of chorus. Okay, if we play something, yeah, it still sounds very crappy, but that's fine. Okay. So I'm disabling this and I'm going to go to the motion recorder. So as we know, we can create modulations just by using the LFO or the modulation wheel, or we can use the oscillator 3 to create some kind of modulations. But as we know, the waveforms to create LFOs or, movements are very limited, right? We get the waveform, and on the LFO, we just get this waveform. So we have no custom way of creating a movement. So this is going to be what the motion recorder is going to do. You can draw something right here, something crazy, whatever you wish. Maybe, I don't know, something like that, whatever. And this motion will be applied to whatever it is that you want to modulate. All right, so let's just begin with this. I'm going to go and, of course, turn it on. So first, you need to select what is that you want to modulate. And notice that this one looks pretty much like this one. It's because it's the same option. It's the destination. So I'm going to say that I want to modulate the cutoff frequency. And this is going to be a little bit crazy. Maybe I'm going to do something like that. So now when I play something, and I'm going to go and there you go, and it works. So now the cutoff frequency is being moved by this motion recorder. It's moving it up and down, up and down, up and down. And if I go something crazy, it goes crazy. Of course, you can go and the amount is like the blend control. Then you have the speed, and the speed, of course, is, you know, how this is gonna go. Right, super cool. Now, of course, I'm gonna go a little bit faster. Then you get the loop. So what, for example, right now we are playing this clip, okay? So maybe I'm just gonna play some chords with my keyboard. Right now, if I play something, it's gonna go done and start over. If I disable the loop, this is just gonna run one time. And it's gonna go all the way there and just kill, you know, it's just gonna die. And then you get the quantize. So I'm gonna talk about this one in a second, but well, actually I can show you right now. And it's, notice that if it's off, we can draw pretty much whatever we want. But the quantize, we will kind of sync to whatever we are doing right here. It's, let's say that it's making it kind of a lo-fi. But this will, of course, will just affect the movement. And I'm gonna loop it. So it's just a different movement, all right? Now, if you want a more fluid movement, you just need to turn it off. Now, one of the things that you can do that it's really cool, of course, you can draw whatever you wish right here, but you can, of course, erase, and you can, of course, draw a line with this one. It's going to give you some tools so you can create something, you know, more normal, let's say, because the other one was super weird. And yeah, that's, you know, they give you some drawing tools. So, and if you want, for example, this one is going to be, you know, just a line. So you can do a whole, you know, sine wave, or you can do a ramp up, in this case. Or you can do, you know, maybe something like a saw right here with this one. Something like that. So yeah, you get tons of course, a square. And yeah. So of course, you can do whatever you wish right here. So the main point of this one is that you can draw things that you cannot really do with the LFO or demodulation control, right? So you want very specific movements. All right, so that's it. That's the last thing we need to talk about. We already know how the oscillator works, how everything works, the filters, the loudness, the mixer, the volume, the you know, the voices, effects, modulations. We did everything on just 6 different videos, and now you have control of pretty much everything that is going on this plugin, and you can go and just create awesome sounds. Now, of course, I understand that sometimes when you're starting to you know, doing this, it's a little bit hard just to create sounds, or just to create the sounds that you want. Now, the first step into creating the sounds that you want is learning the tools or learning the synthesizer that you're using. Because if you don't know what to do, how are you going to create the sound that you want? So on the, I'm going to record just a couple more videos, and we're going to create sounds. We're going to do maybe a bass sound, a lead sound, maybe a drone sound. We can just create different sounds, starting from a clean template, just like the default. All right? Okay. So remember to like the video if you really like what I do, right? And remember, you know, there's Patreon and all of that. Just check the description, okay?